Wagwan. Yeah, man. Hallelujah. You know? Yeah, man. Welcome to the Herbal Laws channel here on YouTube, where I grow herbs for tea. Yeah, man. I grow herbs for tea. I also plant fruit trees. You know? I also plant vegetables at times. Yeah, man. But most of all, I grow herbs for tea. Yeah, man. Why I love herbs or grow herbs for tea? I and love to see the growth of my herb plants is because of the great benefits from the herbs. You know? I don't just love to see the growth of the herb plants because them look good. The herbs are for the greater good of humankind. You know? It's one of the things that it's in its most natural form from the earth that can take care of a human being, health-wise. Yeah, man, if you notice, I'm burning some sage because there's a lot of mosquito. Yeah? But the mission still have to go on. So even though the mosquito them they enough, the mission still have to go on. Yeah, man, so I was just sitting, and watching the upward growth of the plants, you know, and I am made span the whole process to get it where it is now. It takes a process, it takes time, it takes patience, you know. So if you are thinking of, growing a herb garden, yeah man, you have to learn patience. Yeah, you don't just plant and it grow in a daytime, a week time, or sometime even a month time. Everything takes patience. So when you see the beauty of the Herbalist garden, you know that is one that takes time and one that you have to have patience, you know. You have to have patience, yeah. And anything that deal with growth, whether it is your growth, growing as, yeah man, growing as a businessman, growing from a student to a teacher, you know, whatever growth, it is always the upward growth. So the plant start from a miniature stage and then it grow into a large plant. So this plant that you are seeing right here, it didn't just start there, you know. It start from, just a small plant in the pot and it takes time to grow into this huge plant, The Hallman tree here didn't just grow. It came from a seed, So this plant wasn't, it didn't plant by I and I, Maybe the bird come and drop the seed. So it came from the stage of a seed, dropped there by maybe a bird. And it grew into a large tree. This tamarind tree, yeah, that you are seeing in my background. This tamarind tree started through the process of I making natural juice from the tamarind, and then I would come, and just dig up the earth and bury the tamarind seed. So that's the process. That's the growth. Yeah, that's the process. That's the upward growth of this tamarind tree. So every plant doesn't start from the stage of a miniature plant. Yeah, some plants come from the stage of a seed. And when I say it starts from a miniature plant, I'm talking based on the experience, getting the plant from somewhere, bringing it to where I am now, and watching the plants grow. A plant like this, I get it as a small plant, and I watch the upward growth of this plant. You know, uh, when I started with this plant in my garden, I started with just one plant, and if you notice, it have a lot of seeds on it. So wherever the seeds drop, because if you look in this pot, you can see some seeds in it. Wherever the seeds drop, then the seeds also will grow, you know. So it's all a beauty, you know. It's a great vibe. You get a great vibration, watching the upward growth of a plant, whether it's a flower plant, because some people are lovers of flower. I'm a lover of flower. As I show you in previous video, that I am a lover of Xena plants, which I always say to people that a Xena plant is strikingly beautiful. Yeah, but I am more so a lover of herb plant. Yeah, so our pursuit is to see growth. Our pursuit is to see growth. But to see growth and to acquire growth, it comes with a process. So the conclusion of everything that I and I talk about just now, it takes a process. It takes patience, it takes time, it takes vision, because if you are creating a herb garden, a herb garden can be any size you want it to. Some people just plant, and whatever it look like, then they accept it. Everything start with an idea, and out of that idea, yeah man, become growth come out of it. Yeah man. So even to do this content, because of the mosquitoes, I have to have an idea. How am I going to do this video or do this content, without, getting a lot of bite from the mosquitoes? Is I decide to light my sage plant so that I can get this content out, because, I want to reach more people, to share my story, and in sharing my story, I will say, share the content with a friend, share the content with a family. Yeah, man, this is the herbal law. So if you are new here, I and I is a Jamaican who plant herbs, who grow herbs for tea. Because when some people hear about herb, they are thinking about the marijuana plant. They are thinking about the ganja plant. But when I and I talk about herb for tea, I and I talk about plants like the marjoram. I and I talk about plants like the panadol plant. I and I talk about plants like the rosemary plant. Yeah? So that's the herb I'm gonna talk about. Yeah? If you happen to come in my garden, yeah, and you see the beauty of it, yeah, it's not just for beautification, but herb is the healing of the nation. Yeah? So my purpose is to help someone to feel better. Yeah? So when I and I share an herb plant with someone who is having an issue, you know, yeah man, I and I feel good when I can help someone. So today's video is all about, watching the upward growth of my herb plants, my fruit plants, every plant in I and I garden. Yeah. And I love to see the growth. Whether it's coming from a plant from the plant store, whether it's coming from a seed dropped by a bird, it's beautiful to watch the growth. So you can, observe the growth in your garden, but it can all start from just a tire. You can plant, you can start your garden with a tire. You may have some blocks thrown around the place. You can use the block to farm out a garden. Yeah, man, you can start in a pot. You may have some buckets thrown around the place. You can start in a that. You may have a whole igloo, like right here. In this igloo, I and I, show like peeling skins, pumpkin skin, melon skin. So all of this that you see growing here, it's like melon, pumpkin, cantaloupe and all them stuff. Yeah. So even though it's not actual soil in here, but the peeling skin helping all of these things to grow. So at a point I can replant these stuff. Yeah man, so it's a beauty to watch the things grow, Beauty, beauty, beauty. So thanks for tuning in as I man share the growth of I and I herb garden. Yeah man. Share with someone. Like, subscribe, Blessings.